Hello, hello. How y'all doing? I kind of want to play around with some 3D stuff today. We've played around with it a little bit in the past, um, particularly in Blender. And I think we got as far as getting a Blender output to, as a, I always goof this up, GLTF, right? Yep, GLTF output from Blender into the browser. That was pretty cool, and I kind of want to play around with that more. And what's interesting is that once you have that, the way it exports and the way you can pull it into the browser, there's a library that will convert to GLTF to JSX, and I think we might be able to interact with it, which might be interesting for something that we could throw on an overlay and do channel point redemption things. So I kind of want to explore that space and see what's there. The first thing that I do want to look at, also kind of in this space, there is a file format called IFCS or IFC, and WebAssembly in C++. Interesting. And this file format is specifically for, I think it's specifically for the building construction industry. It says BIM toolkit for JavaScript. BIM is an acronym. That industry is full of acronyms. That acronyms stands for Building Information Modeling. Hey Walton, good to see you. So building information modeling is sort of the this is 3D modeling, but we're gonna add on additional dimensions on top of that, and it's supposed to be like 5D or 6D, or I don't know. They probably have like 7 or 8 dimensions at this point, but including things like time and cost and scheduling and that kind of stuff on top of just the 3D modeling of the building itself. I kind of want to just check this out quick. Partly because IFC.js also uses three.js, which is a WebGL library, which we were also using for the Blender export that we were doing a handful of streams ago. I'm curious if they've got. Oh, they do. I don't know if we'll end up doing anything with it, but I'm kind of just interested to see like how far along the technology has come. Because I've got a background in a bunch of this. Oh, you can use it on the server too. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, and this industry is very much the C++. Is quite common. And like this is the file format. Hundreds of thousands of lines. They're not kidding. These files get real big fast. So it looks like they are using Wasm to handle this. Parser is written in C++ and compiled to Wasm. Interesting. It's a fun little thing. Kind of curious what, I mean, okay, hello world. So I guess it looks like it's basically just a library on top of, interesting. It's not even called IFC.js. It's just Web IFC 3. So it's quite deeply built on top of existing infrastructure. So set up scenes. And a lot of this looks like three.js. Add a resize listener, animations using request animation frame. So a request animation frame is a browser handle that every time it is rendering a new frame that fires. Orbits, 3 canvas, render. So where's the 3 examples? Oh, so this is still a basic 3D scene. And then they add a loader. Okay, so all this is doing is adding an IFC loader on top. So it's kind of similar to what it's doing with what we were doing with GLTF. Effectively, it's adding a loader on top of the three.js platform. Set wasm path. Okay. It's kind of nifty. So I don't know if we'll. I don't have a great way. We might be able to do an export out of Blender. So as we start to play around with Blender a little bit more, which I would like to do at some point, we did. Maybe that was in December. I want to say that was in December. We were playing around with Blender and exporting from GLTF, and that was like the alpha version of V3, I think. And I don't think we've played around with the stable one yet. So play around with that a little bit more, but there's also Blender BIM. Yeah, so there's an add-on on top of that. And so it ingests an IFC model directly. And I mean, those things can get pretty big. So I'm kind of curious, like what if you can get something out in GLTF from something from a BIM software. What's the benefit of that over IFCS or I keep saying IFCS, IFC, and loading it using this loader? Thanks for the follow. Waiting bits, nice. So yeah, there's in Blender, there's this add-on that lets you do BIM-like things within Blender. So that might be the way to play around with it. And this feels pretty, I mean, I think we're still sort of potentially less about BIM and more about the modeling part of it. So more in the realm of what SolidWorks might be doing rather than what Revit might be doing. If you're not familiar with those are both modeling programs. Revit is more for buildings. SolidWorks tends to be more for mechanical type. Mechanical type engineering modeling. But it seems like you can get. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to play around with it a little bit. Then we could output it at IFC and try loading out this at some point. But I think we're gonna save that for when we dig into Blender a little bit more. And we'll try that add-on at some point. But what I want to really look at today, React 3. So there's React Fiber 3, or 3 Fiber. And I think, is this what we tried? We still have that around. I don't see anything. I think we played around with React 3 Fiber before. This was the other thing I was thinking of. So there's three.js. Three.js is a WebGL renderer. And then there's React 3 Fiber, which is a React renderer built on top of three.js. And then there's drei, which is a handful of helpers built on top of React 3 Fiber. And they got a couple other like state management kind of things. And I don't remember if, yeah, I guess I just want to go to the docs. I thought they had a website. Oh, yeah, they do. So this, I think, is a storybook. And within here, they have a GLTF loader. So you can give a GLTF directly, and it'll load it. Where is, I remember there being a good one down. There was one that used animations. Oh. I think this is the one. Yeah. So this is built-in animations, and you can toggle between them. And I think we can access that when we use, so GLTF, we can use the loader to load it directly. But it's kind of like loading, maybe I would liken it to like loading an iframe on a page. You can do some things in it, but they're sort of sandboxed and separate, and it's hard to have your outer scope interact with the GLTF directly. But they have a I'm not sure what it'll be under, but they have a GLTF to JSX, I think it is. Yeah. So I think this is what we're probably going to try. We're going to grab a model. We're going to try dumping this, running through this and dumping it on a page. I don't think there's really any sound here. But basically the idea is you run the command on a GLTF. There's also a binary format. GLB is the binary version of this format. It gives you a React component with all the separate meshes. And then we can actually affect those meshes separately. Oh, interesting. Use GLTF. Okay, so it still uses the GLTF loader. Interesting. But then you can affect each of those meshes separately. And I'm imagining that you can also, I think you can play around with the actions as well. I'm not sure how to do that in Blender yet, so that's definitely something that we'll figure out either on stream or on the side. We'll haven't decided that yet, but So I think that's the workflow we're going to go through. We're going to spin up a quick page, see if we can grab just maybe an example model or something like that, run it through this, get it on a page, and we play around with changing things in the model. And we might be able to grab like something that has an action in it already. We can see how we can affect that. So let's see. I think we're gonna make a new repo for this. Don't think I've got anything started. Not to my account. So we'll make a new one quick. Really, JavaScript is not showing up. All right. I could use the CLI to create these. I kind of like to use the UI though for that. I don't know. All right. I am kind of partial to Parcel. I think we'll use that for our builder. Rollup is one of my other favorites, I guess. There's and Vite is probably the other big popular one these days that is seeing a lot of marketing behind it, I guess you'd say. And that's built on top of VS Build and Rollup. So I mean, all good choices, but I like what they're doing with Parcel, so we're gonna roll with that. So we want a web app. We are going to do what version of npm are we on? Volta. So it doesn't look like they've got a quick way to set up a Parcel app, which is unfortunate. And as far as CSS goes, I guess I'm probably just going to do CSS modules directly. That's probably the easiest because what we're going to do is pretty specialized, I think. So let's do npm init. Sure. All right. Volta pin node 16. So if you're not familiar with Volta, Volta is in the same vein of something like MVM, where it helps manage your Node.js version. It also handles npm and Yarn as well. So that's what we're doing here. If you wouldn't mind. Also looking hard. Happy to have you regardless. Okay, so let's spin up a quick little web app here. Oh, wrong shortcut. So we need Parcel. I'm going to drop some code in there. We'll set up those. They also have an incremental build. npm set script start Parcel. So as a version, npm version, no, it's on 8. I don't remember if it's on 7. I think it's on 7 too. You can do a set script and it will rather than manually editing the package.json. So now we've got a start and a build script in there. Yeah, it's nice. I don't feel like it's something that's like super commonly used, or like knowing it isn't going to be a big game changer. But it's nice to know, especially spinning up these if you're spinning up projects often. Whoop, that's not a script. That's okay. That'll actually end up working out anyways. Because we can just do this. Cheeky. Okay. Now we need some files. Our git ignore should be ignoring the node modules. Right. Yep. Does it really not work? Delete. Could have used that when you needed to spin up on a different port versus opening a project and editing the package.json. Yeah, I could see that. So that when you run that, it does actually change your package.json file. And apparently that's interesting that that's throwing an error for that. So yeah, it does actually edit your package.json. So we need src app.js, and let's do index.html. Hot pink. Nice. Okay, we'll do it. All right, come on, prettier. All right, so now I think that's going to be. I mean, we can probably change our browser list because we are targeting one specific browser. Actually, I wonder if it makes sense to just do that right now. Browser list. So what is the syntax for that? Because we need to be targeting. I don't know why that keeps opening up. Chrome. Can I just say like Chrome 95? S2. I guess we can do Chrome. Oh, is Chrome. So Chrome greater than, so something like that, except with Chrome. greater than or equal, I think. Assume so. All right. So now we should be able to do npm run start. Could not parse. Oh. Yes, because it doesn't like that. Okay. Oh. Parcel's built-in dev server start when you run the default parcel command, which I think is what we did, right? Yeah, start. Could not find entry. Interesting. So we need to give it a. That's interesting. I think that's probably the best way to do it. We need to give it an entry point. I don't know if it needs. I guess it does carry. It does copy it over. Okay, so I think we can do it that way then. So then the directory that we're publishing is the dist directory. So when we push it up to somewhere, dist is what it's going to be publishing. So now we've got a server running. We can do localhost 1234. There we go. All right, now we want to we need to run this. This will give us this. And that needs to be within the context of React 3 fiber. So let's set up this first. Come on, stop. And while we're at it, we will also install this because we're going to want the helpers as well. And we don't need to install the gltf to JSX thing because we're going to just use npx to do that. It's just a CLI basically. I don't need it in the actual project. So I'm presuming we're going to need cannot resolve dependency. So we're going to need some dependencies in here. So I'm presuming that we are going to need React. I don't see why it would install it for us. Okay, these are really high level. I just want to start a I don't want CodePen. They're making it too easy. Like I want the npm install. I'm pretty sure it's just React and React DOM, but I was hoping to just copy and paste it real quick. And installation. Wow. See, that's the thing. I don't want to use create React app either. And I don't want to use any of those frameworks. I just want to install it. Oh, I bet you, yeah, Parcel has a thing, doesn't it? Yeah, see, this is what I wanted. Like, I just wanted that. npm install this. Okay, so we can do that for app. No, index. So I don't know if I need React string. I'm getting a lot of conflicting peer dependencies. And React also just upgraded. I think we got React 18. So we might need to deal with that. But we've got there's the app.js. And there's also an index. And let's update this to to that. Okay, so that should give us React. And I think that not doing TypeScript or Flow. CSS we can import. Okay. So I think we basically want to use this directly. So we're going to need a model. By running this command on a model, we're going to get this auto-generated thing that creates a model file for us. Yeah, and see then we can start adding events and such. So this will give us a model directly in there. If we do group gltf model. So this is using canvas and suspense. So if we run with this as our app, I think we can get something here. So this has got the render in here directly. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. We have to split this up. Let's do maybe like frame, I guess. So we're gonna put this in a frame, and we're going to export frame. Nope. Stop it. VS Code, you are not being helpful. Oh, like frame is a reserved word. Oh, I forgot to type function. Export function frame props. So this will give us, if we do a return here, this is gonna give us basically everything we need there. Canvas, which is a React 3 fiber, and this is all pieces within that canvas for rendering. And now we got like a thing that we can drop on a page. And app is going to be kind of our root, and then index.js. I can maybe move this into the app as well. Kind of squish some of this together, but this is just going to be doing the actual React time.render. So import frame from frame.js. Okay, so now we should be able to do in React, you need to have one root element when you're returning a render. So we're going to add an extra div in there, and then we're going to add a frame. So now it should do rebundling, reload, and there we go. So we've got our canvas. Puts it in a div, and we've got, this is the outer div that we had put in there. We can also do, if we don't want that outer div in there, we can do a fragment, react.fragment. And this will give us a, I think it's considered a shadow DOM node, but it's not actually going to show up in our DOM anywhere. So now that kind of just disappears in the actual DOM itself. Okay, so now the next step. What are we working with? Probably, I think we'll probably go for another 10 or 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more. So we're to this point. We've got this rendering. So now we want to start pulling in a GLTF model. We need to get one first. Eventually we'll make something ourselves, but there are probably something that we can get off of Sketchpad might be good. that has a license that will work for us for the moment. And like people do some pretty wild stuff. What are we feeling? Wow. Man, that just... I mean, and as far as I understand, like this is the type of thing where you can also add this to like you could reasonably pull this in a video game. This like file standard, yeah, you get an Autodesk FBX and a GLTF. Yeah, it looks fancy. All right. License. Ooh, Apollo 11 command module. So it'd be cool to get something that has an animation on it. I don't know if we're going to be able to find that. So a whole bunch of these are from the Smithsonian, which is really nifty. They've been, I don't know if this is things that are like in their, like in their ownership that they're scanning, but they've been dropping a whole bunch of this stuff in public domain, which is really nifty. Yeah, it's pretty big. I think that's pretty cool. But I don't know if they're gonna have any actions or anything. Animated. Here we go. Animated. So there's not too many that are animated. So they rigged up the mesh to be able to animate it. Okay. This is kind of cool. 3.js.edu. So what's this? Smithsonian Institute. Some more information about what they're doing with this program. Small group of technologists working in the Smithsonian Institution Digitization Program Office. That's pretty cool. I appreciate that there's somebody doing this. Hey, there we go. There's our Triceratops. Cool. I don't know if y'all have gone to the DC area and seen these. You were watching a thing on YouTube about museums using 3D printing and scanning to make replicas of artifacts. Yeah. 3D printing and resin work, especially for like bones and replicas and whatnot. Yeah, distribution and preservation. It's really cool. It's really cool. I would love to see more funding and effort put into that kind of stuff. I think there's a lot to be done on many facets for that. Education and preservation probably being the biggest of those, I would imagine. But yeah, that's cool. Armstrong spacesuit, nice. So I don't know. Well, we might play around with some of these. We might make our own. We'll see. But I think this will give us something to work off of for right now. Do we get... bummer. I need a Sketchfab account today. I might have one. Checking on the side here. Come on. Might not actually. Just turbo squid require. That's a paid one. Free. If you're interested. Cool. Thanks for sharing the link. Have you been to the Smithsonian museums, Walton? They're pretty cool. Adam Savage. Nice. We were talking about him last time, weren't we? That one day build. Tend to do the air and space. Yeah. A couple jobs ago, I used to travel to DC area quite a bit. And anytime we'd have, especially with the whole like downtown historic mall area there, being right by the airport. Anytime we had an extra few hours, we'd stop at the air and space on the way back to the airport. All right, well, I guess I thought I had a Sketchfab account. Guess we'll just make a new one real quick. Well, all right. So there's an auto-converted format, GLTF. We'll try it. So it's downloading 16, almost 17 megabytes. It's not awful. All right, we will chuck this in our folder. We do still have some GLTS in the root. I'll actually just move them all in there. And where is it? Stream overlay. There. Yeah, so we did these toruses last time. And here's our zip. Animated. Ooh, animated square. So maybe we do have something that's animated. Go ahead and unzip that too. Extract. Just using Windows to do the zip extraction. Actually, yep, no. Is it the scene? Textures, license, scene. Okay. So I don't know. Okay, we'll make a new folder. We'll call it assets. GTF. Drei tops. So now we've got scene, license, and textures. Move those into the Triceratops folder. Okay. Okay, so we got our scene. I'm not sure what the textures are gonna do. I think I actually have a. Do I have a? No. I thought I had a viewer installed. Tools for GLTF and GLB 3D models. That's a good shot. Nice. All right. So that's installing. So we've got assets, textures. Okay, so some PNGs. And I'm presuming that that's probably referenced in here. So the GLTF, I believe, is effectively just like a JSON format. And then you can do GLB, which is the binary version of it. So less smaller file size, but you know, you would be able to like look at it very easily like this. I don't know what the scene.bin is. And then license. Okay. Bitter, we're chugging. Okay, so it looks like this extension will let us look at GLBs. Oh, well, maybe. Export to GLB, validate. Ah, here we go. So now we've got the extension and we can do a preview. There we go. So that's what we did, I don't know, a couple months ago. I don't remember what it was now. So it looks like it only works on GLTF. And we can create a GLTF from a GLB with this plugin. We should be able to open this. Hopefully we can preview this one. Yes. Suppose I can click the button, but it doesn't seem to do anything. making only one render at a time. Oh, there we go. It was just slow. It's not particularly speedy. Okay. So now we've got a model. We can run. Well, that's still loading. Let's close a couple of these. Free up a little bit of resources. Close, close, close. All right. Now we can use this. I don't know if we're going to need to do any of this. I'm probably going to run it and just see what it gives us. All right, there we go. Then here's the animations. That's cool. So it'll be rendered with three.js. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. Seems to work just fine. Cool. I love how they're like rib cages tweaking past itself. Okay, so I think we've got a model that we can work with. Let's run this on the model. So we're in the directory. We'll do npx gltf jsx scene.gltf, and I think they do say something about recommending use of drei. I'm not quite sure what that means, and I don't see it now. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it with Draco. I don't know what that does, but we will see what happens. Let's run the thing. So we should get a JavaScript file that looks something like this, and we would be able to pull it in as a component, a React component directly. npx is going to run. It's going to do an install on the fly and cache that, and then run the CLI itself. Browser list key instead of browser list. Okay. Oh, I just realized that I did the wrong one anyways. Should that not be? I think it's just supposed to be the root. We'll try running it again. So yeah, see now it's just going to run directly. I'm just going to take that out for right now. Browser list error. Browser list key instead of, oh, forget to save. There, it's not erroring right away, so that's probably part of it. I don't know if the browser list is going to matter too much. There we go. So we've got something. Scene.js. Skin to mesh. And we get the actions right away. So we might be able to trigger the actions directly. We'll have to find out. So we're gonna just rename this to model. Model is playing in the scene. So I don't remember how we do static assets in Parcel. Let's look that up real quick. I think we'll get this. We'll try to get this rendering, and then I think that's where we're gonna call it for the day. Production targets, bundling inline. I guess I can just import it directly and it'll just handle it. So like, I mean, I guess the image configuration. Validator, compressor, optimizer. Static. Scope hoisting API. Inlining data as a URL. So I don't know if I want to inline it. I do not remember how to do it. So I think it is through a transformer. Dev server file system. Plugins. Static. I mean, I guess I could just drop them in the dist folder, eh? So we'll do. I think I can do. Whoop, keep the dist. I think that'll work. Static. I feel like there's got to be a better way to do that, but I'm gonna roll with that. Let's do assets. So now we should have. Well, once that's done moving, we'll move the model into our SRC. It's going to then load it from .assets, I'm guessing. Come on. I don't understand why file operations are so slow in VS Code in Windows. Seems like it's specifically that. Every time I do them, I regret doing them. Oh, probably was partly stuck because of this. I was in the folder. Yep, that was it. Okay. So now I should be able to, okay, so it's not liking that, but whatever, we'll deal with that later. As a Mac user, you just blame Windows. It's not uncommon. So I don't know if I'm gonna need my frame or anything. We get a straight up model. So I think what I'm gonna try to do here is just import the model directly and see if it works just fine. We're not gonna load our frame. Rebuilds. Okay. The DOM.render is no longer supported in React 18. Okay, so we might want to go back down to React 17. These errors look in the vein of that as an issue. Because I think the idea is that we get a model and then we can just import it. Oh, I guess it's import default. I don't know if that matters. Is it actually exported as a default? Yeah. So suspense. Yeah, let's downgrade to, where are we? npm install react at 17, react DOM at 17. So they changed the way, I don't know why that keeps opening up. They changed the way that they're doing suspense, I think. And because it was I think it was a pretty experimental API, and I'm pretty certain that add a suspense fallback. Okay, so less errors. Add a suspense fallback component higher in the tree to provide a loading indicator. Oh, okay, which makes sense. Because there's also this, which it noted before, and there is a canvas. Okay. So let's do frame. Let's do, we still have canvas here. We don't care as much about this, but we do. Model. So we're basically ignoring this box thing. No, not index, model. .js. Suspense is not defined. Lovely. So we have canvas. Don't need that anymore. Ooh, oh. So we're getting more errors. Draco and mesh op compression. You don't need to do anything if your models are Draco compressed. Okay. So I don't know. Did we actually create those? I don't see anything about it. Type safety. So say synchronous must be wrapped in suspense. Now you can reuse it. So like this should be fine. No fallback, suspense. Not using this box at all. Just take those pieces out. We are rendering the frame within the fragment. Cannot create property updated fibers on number 0. We are on React 17. I think I am going to try just clearing up my node modules quick just to make sure it's not grabbing some new React thing or something still. For the, and I think some of this too is going to depend on the model that we're getting. So like this model that we're doing is a skin mesh. I don't see where that's even coming from. So like the model could have something to do with it. You could probably do they have a model or something that we could try? So there's a scene here that we could try. I should have done that through it's gonna take forever to delete it. Preload your assets. So why would a network consider an error boundary? Uncaught type error. Cannot create property updated fibers. So I mean we were getting this to work. So I'm guessing it's something particularly with this model. Logo manifest robots. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Here. Could not resolve dependency. So React Fiber. So maybe it does work with. So does this drei support React 18? V8. Okay. So maybe that wasn't an issue. Maybe we just needed this fallback. npm I react dom. Conflicting peer dependency. React 18. They are still on 18, right? Yep. Okay. So let's just try that out. Let's try that again. If this doesn't work, we'll try the other model. Hopefully that works. If not, I think we're just gonna have to could not load scene. Okay, so it says we don't actually need to preload it. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So there's a preload and then there's also this. So I think we can do, it's going to be an assets slash gltf slash triceratops. Hey, look at that. It's chugging a little bit, but it seems to work. Our model is here. Rotation, 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 group. We probably want to see if we can make this canvas slightly bigger. Change its colors or exchange materials. Or add events. So I think there's a way to quickly add controls. Basic animations, loading textures, user interaction. Heh. I thought they have, I'm pretty sure they have a component that you can drop in. Use loader. Orbit controls. Okay, so it's in drei. Controls. Okay, so I think we probably want to just chuck those in there to help us out a bit. We throw them in here. Oh. I'm not quite sure exactly where they go. There we go. So now we can zoom in. It's not loading the textures. And that might be something in the GLTF that we need to get it to like re-reference those. I don't know if it's like direct reference. Yeah, so it's doing it. I don't know if this will work. We'll find out. Should you save? I don't need you to stop prettier. Just save it. Thank you. Oof. Okay. Stop running. I think doing that is going to nothing. Okay. Well, I mean, that's not the end of the world. Let's make this canvas a little bit bigger. And I think that's where we're going to call it. We can play around with it more another time. We'll probably play around with this again next time. There's a lot of stuff in this one. The cube, there's different cameras. Like there's textures and shaders and stuff in here. So we'll have to figure out how to get that hooked up. Canvas, is there some way we can make it bigger? Tree shaking. Handle resize. Creates a root targeting a canvas. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can remove React DOM completely. Resize, flat, uncreated. I'm not sure how to make it bigger. It might have something to do with the model. Like it might be sizing it based off the model. There's rotation, there's a bunch of groups in here. And scales. Like it might be just doing it right off of this. Scale 100, scale 100. So yeah, I don't know. Like if we would bump this up, I don't know if what's that's actually gonna do, but yeah. Couldn't load texture. I'm not sure what these file paths are. All right. I think we're gonna let this save. We're gonna see if this makes a difference, and I think that's where we're gonna call it today. I need to get going here, so I think we're probably just gonna skip trying to raid somebody today. Yep, still nothing. Oh well, next time. Thanks for stopping by. Glad to have you y'all were lurking, Walton and you in mind. I think we'll keep playing around with this next time. I do want to open up Blender, play around with that a little bit too, and potentially make our own animated thing. Maybe we'll look in the IFC as well. I don't know that we can do much with animations there though. It's just going to be loading and maybe interacting with. So I don't know. Likely GLTF is going to be the file format that we're targeting. And specifically because I think we're going to have a better time with triggering actions. So we could hook up channel point redemptions to trigger actions of a model that we can drop on screen somewhere. So I think it should be fun. Next time though, have a good weekend. Bye.